Our second story is a vulnerability in UpdraftPlus, one of the most widely installed backup plugins for WordPress, and it's an authentication bypass to remote code execution flaw. It was reported to the plugin team by the researcher Vtim through the Wordfence Bug Bounty program. The flaw is in UpdraftPlus's remote management feature, Updraft Central. If a site has ever been connected to Updraft Central, either the hosted service at teamupdraft.com or a self-hosted dashboard, the plugin runs a listener on every page load that's supposed to only accept commands that come signed and encrypted from the dashboard. The bug is in how it handles the encryption side. When a message comes in, the listener tries to unlock it with the site's private key. The attacker can send garbage instead of a real key, and the unlock will fail, but the code doesn't bother to check the result. It just hands the broken value into the encryption library, and that library quietly falls back to a fixed, predictable key that anyone can guess: all zeros. The attacker knows that, so the attacker encrypts the command they want to run with that same all zeros key, sends it, and the site decrypts it as if it had come from the real dashboard. There's a separate signature check too, but it can also be skipped by flipping one field in the request. From there, the listener runs the command as the administrator who originally connected the site, which means the attacker can install and activate any plugin they want, leading to arbitrary code execution. UpdraftPlus shipped the patch in version 1.26.5 on June 5th and listed it in the changelog as a security fix for unauthorized operations on sites with an active Updraft Central key. At that point, there was no public technical write-up, but the patch and security notice were likely enough of a signal for attackers to start reverse engineering. Wordfence had a firewall rule in place starting June 3rd, and the first attempts in the wild came 5 days later on June 8th. In the first day of attacks, we blocked more than 2,300 requests against 1,768 distinct sites. Almost all of them came from one IP address. Every single request fit the exploit request shape, but had the RPC command set to ping. So this appears to be what we'd call a no-op request that returns success if the site is vulnerable and an error if it's not. In other words, it appears to be a reconnaissance sweep. It's possible that an attacker is using this technique to map out which UpdraftPlus installations still have the bug, presumably before coming back with the actual plugin upload payload that drops a shell. If you run UpdraftPlus and you've ever connected it to Updraft Central, update to 1.26.5 immediately. Wordfence Premium Care and Response customers were protected starting June 3rd. Free users get the rule on July 3rd. Since we recorded this segment on June 10th, Wordfence telemetry has confirmed active exploitation of this UpdraftPlus vulnerability with real malicious payloads. The earliest malicious request we observed came roughly 6 hours after public disclosure, and we're seeing forged requests that are attempting to upload plugins, deactivate plugins, and create users. On June 12th, Wordfence updated the firewall rule to ensure adequate coverage for the premium version of UpdraftPlus, which shares the same plugin slug as the free version, but has a different affected version range. If you use UpdraftPlus, we urge you to update to version 1.26.5 or later for the free plugin, and 2.26.5 or later for the premium version.